Before I start today's video, I would like to take this time to appreciate this. Honestly, that type of clothing just screams, I will fold you and your children and your children's children with my fists, bro. Random, I know, but that's what entails today's video, guys. Not the clothing, but actually I'll be taking note of the clothes as we go along. But the topic of today's video is none other than the man who drips true sauce, not your fake sauce. And that is the man who was named Grandmaster Ip Man of the Wing Chun style. Bro, what are you waiting for? Hit that intro. I have one word to say to you. Ip Man. Yo. If you haven't watched this quadrilogy, is that a word? Well, Microsoft Word says it's not, but I say it is. I don't care what all of you think, because I'm too hyped up for this. I mean, it's Ip Man, guys. The man who trained the world-renowned martial artist and movie star, the great Bruce Lee. I'm sorry, but I'm definitely not sorry, because I'm a big fan of action. And when that action entails some kung fu, bro, I'm hooked. I'm hooked straight up. I was brought up on kung fu movies. You have no idea. Let's talk about this man that drips too much sauce. My man's Ip Man, fresh out of Foshan in China in the 1930s, was a wealthy man and trained in the beautiful art of kung fu, a style called Wing Chun, which apparently was invented by a woman who went by the name of Ying Mui. I'm not sure if I said the name right, but she was one of the 5 legendary elders who survived the destruction of the Shaolin Temple during the Qing dynasty. I feel like I'm giving a history lesson, but listen. That's amazing that this lady, Ying Mui, developed this style and taught it to one of her students, whose name was Yim Wing Chun. Like, bro, the student took the glory of the name because, get this, she needed to defend herself from dudes who were making advances, and hence the name stuck. Actually, scratch that. After I did some digging, right? Ying Wing Chun actually was being harassed by a bandit who was trying to force her into marriage at the age of 15. Did you say 15? Needs to respect the women's. 15, bro, you tripping. I think I have found some rant material. I love martial arts, but sadly, I don't want to learn because I feel like your boy would get his behind kicked hard. Major danger there. But your boy Rance is back. I love Ip Man, fam, and the whole Chinese culture, except so this man didn't take on any students, and of which is really odd, as it was the norm in China to do so that your style can be passed on from generation to generation, right? So this man was somewhat happy, but he got his fair share of challenges, and he kept wiping the floor with these people as he flexed on these dudes. So Ip Man faced reality, right? When war came knocking down on his door, when the Japanese invaded around 1937, and his wealthy mansion was taken over by the Japanese and used as a headquarters for them. So stripped of his nice, comfortable life, the master of Kung Fu saw that his skills of fighting weren't actually getting him any jobs. So he and his family of wife and one child struggled through life. So the movie shows his struggles as his people were oppressed, but things changed when Ip Man decided to take a stand against the Japanese and flex his Kung Fu skills, which in my opinion was one of the greatest and most beautiful scenes of coordinated violence. I mean, this man's utterly broke the leader of the Japanese army battalion. So I was thinking I might be spoiling this movie for people who haven't watched it, and here are my thoughts on the matter. Bro, this movie, the first movie of this quadrilogy, came out not 12 months ago, not 5 years ago, but freaking 12 years ago, bro. A child was born, grew up, and is starting high school next year. So no, I couldn't give a Ratatouille's rear side about spoiling a 12-year-old movie, and that goes along with its sequels. no holds barred when it comes to my rants on the movies that I love. So, Ip Man, right, beats up this Japanese man, right? But before that, I feel like my rant today is similar to Nux Taku when he talks about flexes. Honestly, I can't talk about Ip Man and not mention how this beautiful specimen of a man, yes, I said this man is beautiful.
Why are you gay?
Sue me. There's this one scene in this movie where Ip Man decided to start taking a stand, and it's when he saw his fellow master in Kung Fu get shot right in front of him at a supposed fighting tournament where you fight some of the Japanese guys, and if you win, you get a bag of rice, yada yada. You get the concept. So my man's Ip decided to go check it out, and that's where he saw his old homie. Man's fought his first round and won, right? Then thought he could go for a second round, but lost. Man's got shot by an over-eager soldier, and this pissed my man's off, and he said he wanted to fight. So my man steps in and does the utmost flex in all of Kung Fu flex history. He doesn't fight one guy. No. He doesn't fight two guys. No. He fights 10 guys at once. And these are all black belts. And this man's is so enraged that he basically destroyed all these little side characters. But then again, it was still beautiful. Like, oh, bro. Like I just felt goosebumps. This man is no ordinary man. No, my fellow brethren. This man is the epitome of manliness. Fast forward to where I was before the flex of the 10-man destruction. Ip Man beat the leader beautifully. Remember the eager soldier? Yeah, the one that shot our man's friend? Yeah, him. He decides to shoot my man's Ip Man, but luckily misses his heart. I mean, the first time I watched this, I thought that was it for the man's. But no. This man had 3 more sequels lined up for him, which means more rants about the greatest Kung Fu master who ever lived. I don't care what you say. Fight me. I'll Wing Chun you and your opinion into oblivion. So I think in this video I will do the first and part of the second one, since I already done the first, and save the other 2 for a later date. And if you haven't watched Ip Man, please go watch it. You definitely won't be disappointed. And you can join in on the hype train with me. I'm giving you this grace period to go watch the quadrilogy. I'm sticking with my made up word. Alright, Ip Man 2. So where does the story take place, you might ask? Or in downtown Flex Town, the place otherwise known as Hong Kong. Bro, I cannot stress enough for you to go watch these movies. What are you still doing here? Go watch it and don't be like, but Rants, it's in Chinese and I hate reading while watching. I don't care. Watch it. You won't die. And otherwise, we can't have an argument war in the comments if you haven't watched the movies. So get your posterior watching the movies. Actually, and there's a dubbed version of it. Blech. Reminds me of the old Kung Fu movies. Yes, my boy Ip is in Hong Kong and sees that life ain't roses no more, right? So I respect a man's who knows his situation isn't right and tries to fix it. My man decides to start a Kung Fu school, to which there were schools already in the area, and apparently to have a school you had to be part of this community of masters and pay a monthly fee of some sort, which was a way to bribe the Americans. I actually didn't understand that part. It wasn't really talked about in depth. But my boy doesn't just bend the knee so fast. No. My man tells them that he ain't part of the system. So he threw it on the ground. Know what I mean? I don't even know why I did an American accent. I hope I don't get copyrighted for what I just showed you. Whatever. So Ip Man decides to be a lone wolf and start his school. The school starts off off rocky, like anything at the first stages, like my YouTube channel. She's still a baby antelope learning how to walk, So my man's school gets vandalized by other students, and my man is forced out of the building where he held his school. And as that is happening, remember the community of masters that pays bribes to Americans for some reason? Yeah, them. They hosted a martial arts showcasing event, and of which they invited some American boxer who was supposedly the world champion at that time. I mean, come on. America loves to take the title of world champion so lightly. I mean, at that time, Africa wasn't even participating. but that don't make no difference. I don't even know why I said that. I just had to say that as a courtesy. So the champ decides to interfere with the showcase and beat up some dudes and the leaders and some of the leaders. And then one of the leaders of this little community got beaten up and lost his life. So champ decides to let out a public apology, but in the middle of that apology, he taunts all the Chinese people by saying they're weak. And you know my boy don't stand for that BS. No, he decides to challenge the Mandu, and we all know what follows. Beautiful, coordinated violence, baby. I mean, it's a freaking boxing match. Our man's is restricted from kicking, and he still does it so beautifully, even though at some points I felt like my boy might just lose. But no, my guy stayed undefeated. Like, yo, you need to watch this. You just need to see this. Let me play a little snippet of the fight. The hype of the movies got me forgetting to tell you what I'm actually drawing in the background, even if you weren't paying attention to what it is I was drawing. My dad, being a dad, saw me drawing last week's piece and he said, hey, you should draw me next. But unfortunately, it didn't come out as well as I hoped for. I hadn't practiced portraits on A3 paper before, which was my fault, but oh well, you live and you learn. Okay, so I have a little bit of time before I sign out. Let me just talk about a beautiful fight scene. So remember the masters, that little community of masters? Yeah, them. So they wanted to see if my man was worthy of the title master. So they decided to hold a fight day for him. And he basically showed those masters, save for one, that he was a boss. The last one ended in a draw, but that master is the one who lost his life fighting the champ. Alright guys, I think I'm going to cut the rant short. Be sure to tune in when I talk about the next 2 Ip Man movies. I guarantee you that it will be a blast. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, and if you would like to see more of my crazy ranting content, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified as soon as I upload my videos, which I do on Wednesdays. If I do happen to change my schedule, I will let you guys know in advance. And that's it from the Ranting Artist. Stay safe, guys. Practice good hygiene. See you next week. Will the Ranting Artist talk about being left on red? Will the Ranting Artist talk about anime? Find out next week on the Ranting Artist Z. I don't know why I did that. I felt like I needed an outro for this week's video. And not many people actually stay this long for my videos. So whoever's actually watching, I appreciate you, man. Or woman. I respect all women. I'm not a simp though. Yeah, I'm out.